Hey everyone, and welcome to Groove Builders, the show where we create together. I'm your host, Disorderly Cone, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about tools for building 3D metal models. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, and my toolbox has changed quite a bit over time, but I still think I have some of the best things to build these model kits with. Now, the first tool I'm going to recommend is nippers. These are great for cutting out all of our pieces and allowing the parts to stay as straight as possible. If you try to take them out with your hands, you'll end up warping or even possibly breaking the pieces before starting to build the model. What you want to do with these guys is get right up close to your part at the connection and just give them a little cut. This will allow for the least amount of the connection to remain on the piece, allowing everything to come together nice and easy. If you do have a little bit of metal left over on the part, it's a great idea to take these back to the piece and just do a little bit of trimming. This way, all of our pieces go together easily and that little bit of metal won't get in the way. Now, when it comes to shaping our pieces, there's a few different tools that I recommend for that, and most of the tools left on the tool bench are actually made for shaping our parts. But when it comes to connecting them together and doing really nice 90-degree bends, I highly recommend a good tweezer set. These tweezer sets come with a whole variety of different ones in there. I like to use the sharper ones, the bent ones, and these nice flat guys here to do the most of my work. But over the last year, I've actually been switching away from tweezers and moving more to pliers. These guys here allow for a lot more control when it comes to shaping our pieces, at least in my opinion. And being that there's a great variety of them out there in the market, there's pretty much something for every part to be used, including some really tiny pliers which come in use. My favorite set of tiny pliers are these ones right here from Metal Time. These come inside of some of their kits, and they are fantastic for 3D metal models because they have a little tiny tip here, allowing us to shape even some of the most smallest details in these kits. Again, if you look over my past couple of videos, I've been using these more and more and more, and that's just because they're so much easier to shape things with. Now, yes, tweezers can still be used for their purpose, but again, highly recommend these. Just make sure that if you're getting a pair of pliers for 3D metal models, just make sure they're smooth and don't have any teeth like this guy right here. If you try to bend pieces with pliers that have teeth, you'll end up having a whole bunch of marks on them and it won't look nice in the end. So make sure that they're completely flush, or take a grinder to a good set and you should be good. Now, when it comes to shaping more cylindrical pieces, there's a whole bunch of tools on the market that can help us with that. And one of them I recommend is these hand mandrel sets that usually come in a state of 2. These are fantastic for some of the ribbons that we need to do, like on tire details, or even some of the circular pieces like on R2-D2 here with its knobs and lenses and things like that. These pieces are great for that because they help us create a uniform shape. And if you've ever tried to bend some of these ribbon details, sometimes you get a interestingly shaped teardrop. These tools right here help us prevent that. And online, there's a whole bunch of different kits, and I'll have links to all of these tools in the description below. But there's a whole bunch of different tools that kind of come in these sets. And another little hand mandrel set is these guys right here. Now, I have used these over the last couple of years, but in my personal opinion, they're just the wrong size for a lot of the things that we build with. If they were just a little bit bigger and this guy here was a little bit smaller, we would have a really good set here. But I'd still use them. They're okay. And again, it usually comes in a collection of different tools. And in the collection, one of the other tools that comes there is this little pen here, or a metal pencil. This pencil is fantastic. I love it. It's great for securing all of our tabs, either twisting or bending them, and because it has a flat side and a really nice sharp side, you can get right into the model and secure anything that you need. And also, because it has a really nice cylindrical shape here, you can shape things with it too, and you don't necessarily have to have the correct size object to shape it. If you have a nice little mouse pad like this, it will allow for you to be able to put the part onto the table and just kind of run it down like that, and you'll get a really good little circular shape. And you can do that multiple times to make it even smaller. Now, the next tool that I'm going to recommend for trying to get more dome shapes is these guys right here. This is a fondant kit. This is used for making different kinds of shape for fondant kits for cakes. They are great for being able to shape some of our metal pieces, and because they have a variety of different sizes, you can pretty much use them for anything. But shaping like R2-D2's head here, if I would have had these, this would be a lot more domed than it is now. I mean, it's pretty good, but it would be better with this guy right here. You can really get some good 3D detailing and not even doming, just trying to get like a good 3D detail on some of our kits. These are fantastic to use that with as well. Again, a good fondant set, not bad to have. The other tool that I use here is something called a dapping set. And I've gotten a lot of different comments over the years about these, and I wish that they were still available, but trying to find a nylon dapping set these days is really hard, and I wish I could produce it myself. Unfortunately, I can't. I don't have the tools right now to be able to do that. But if you look around online, you can find a variety of different dapping sets on the market. Most of them are made out of metal. And if you can find one like this, or even a wood set like this, you'll be very happy with it, because these guys are great not only for creating cylindrical pieces, but also for doming our pieces, or even trying to get the 3D details like we do with our little fondant set here. You can also purchase something called a block. This is a block. It's a dapping block, to be more precise. And it has a variety of different holes here that allow us to be able to, again, to get a nice 3D shaping. And you use these two in conjunction together, you push them like this, and you pull out your part. These are mostly made for jewelry making, but again, it's great for 3D metal modeling. And that kind of goes for a lot of tools in the industry that we have here. These are all great for 3D metal models, but also really good for building your own jewelry. Finally, let's move on to brakes. Now, brakes are great for shaping some more of our smaller pieces, and they come in a variety of different shapes again. If you remember me from a while back, we built the Bender 1.0 tool, and I was going to create the Bender 2.0 tool, but some things happened, and right now there's a variety of different products on the market that are very similar to this. And well, I will be releasing a new version of this. Right now, these are fantastic for bending some of our more smaller pieces, because you can open up the vise like this, place the part inside, push it down, and then use, say, a tweezer set or plier set to be able to bend the piece into the correct shape. They are great for small pieces, but trying to find the right cheese wedge here on top is a key point to getting a good break. Some of the ones that come in the kits, like I talked about earlier, are this one right here, and it's okay. But the problem that I have with this one is that oftentimes the center gets squished down, and I have to take my tweezers inside of it and kind of bend it back out. So is it the best one to use? I don't think so. I don't really use it that much, but because it comes in the kit, I do find myself using it very rarely. All right, now there's one more tool. I said finally, but there's one more tool that I'll talk about, and that's a rasp right here. When it comes to our bigger 3D metal models, this is a perfect tool to be able to take all that leftover metal off that I was talking about earlier. When it comes to motion models or moving 3D metal models, having all of our pieces completely smooth is key to having them work correctly. You really do need to use this rasp to make sure that everything is smooth on the edge, and you can check it with your finger to make sure that everything is smooth before attaching everything together. Not using a rasp on some of our moving pieces is a really bad idea, and you'll find yourself very frustrated in the end to see the gears getting caught on these little tiny pieces of metal. It's just because all of these kits run on such a high tolerancy and such a limited motion and limited strength that these little tiny bits of metal really do add up over the entire model, and using a rasp is a great way to clean them off. And with that, we're at the end of our episode. I had a really good time talking 3D metal model tools with you, and if you guys had a good time, go ahead and press that like button. For more videos like this, hit subscribe as well, as we got all kinds of really cool projects coming out in the future, and I would love to have you there. Do you use some of these tools here? Did I miss something? Go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. I would love to see what you guys have to say, and if you're interested in picking up any of these tools, there'll be links down in the description here. Just understand that they are affiliate links, so I will be making a little bit of money, but all of these tools have been purchased with my own money, and I've been using them over the years, and I just highly recommend these for anyone who's really serious about getting into the hobby. Until next time, keep building. Now I gotta put all these things away. Pikachu, are you ready?